It's September 15th, 2008. Lehman Brothers is collapsing. The system broke. And with it, the illusion that the world's biggest banks could never fail.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Inside the chaos, one trader was watching it happen in real time. Nikolay Storonsky, young and suddenly unemployed. But that day did something to him. While the world was busy blaming the system, he was studying it from the inside. Because in the middle of the collapse, he realized the fragility of the system.
In modern world, you don't need bankers, right? You need software engineers, or you need designers, you need product people.
And an idea took shape. An idea that money could move faster, cleaner, without the weight of the old world.
It took 2 years to launch one product at one of the banks, one of the big banks. 14 levels of approvals. In the last 1 year, I think we launched at least like 8 products.
Years later, from that idea, he built one of the fastest growing fintechs in history. A company designed to escape from the traditional banking system and eventually replace it.
You genuinely think that the banks can't do this internally?
I mean, they can probably in 5-10 years time, right? But in 5-10 years time, we will build even better products.
This is the story of the men who watched the giant fall and chose to start a revolution. Nikolay Storonsky was born in 1984 in Dolgoprudny, a quiet town just 20 kilometers north of Moscow's city center, in the heart of the late Soviet era. From a young age, Nick showed unusual intelligence and a competitive spirit. At 6, he was leafing through economics books while his peers read comics, and whenever he could pause his studies, he threw himself into sports. He competed in swimming and boxing, eventually becoming a national university swimming champion. A journey that shaped his fiercely competitive spirit.
I think I started competing in Olympiads in economics when I was probably like 13, 14 years old.
This combination of scientific rigor and athletic discipline forged a competitive, tenacious character early on. He studied in Moscow, earning a master's degree in physics and another in economics and finance. But after graduation, Nikolay decided to leave Russia behind and move to London, chasing bigger opportunities and a future that the post-Soviet system could no longer offer. He jumped straight into the city, quickly landing a role as an equity derivatives trader at Lehman Brothers. Life was good. Nick was earning well. London felt full of promise and his future seemed bright, until something unexpected struck, turning his world upside down.
It was the worst day on Wall Street.
This could be the most serious recession in decades.
The stock market is now down 21%. What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
The day Wall Street broke. The day one of the world's oldest banks, Lehman Brothers, collapsed under the weight of toxic debt and blind optimism. It was the moment the global financial system cracked, and billions of dollars evaporated overnight. At just 24, Nick, he was working on the derivatives desk, the very heart of the machine that was now burning down. When Lehman Brothers went under, Nick lost nearly £500,000 of his own money. Years of hard work, gone in a single weekend. The trauma of Lehman's failure left a mark. Even the giants of finance could fall.
So on Monday I came to work, all the systems were closed, you can't trade. There were other 200-400 traders on the trading floor, no access to the system.
After Lehman's dramatic collapse in 2008, he had to move on. He continued his career as a trader at Credit Suisse until 2013, deep inside London's financial engine. During those years in London, Nick didn't just build a career, he forged a mindset. He earned British citizenship and with it, absorbed the intense work ethic of the city. Grueling hours, high-pressure days, and a lifestyle defined by constant performance. Those experiences shaped him into a resilient individual, disciplined, relentless, and accustomed to pushing far beyond the limits most people would accept.
Every day, what you do, you just need to be at 100%, right? And then even if you lose, you know what, you've done everything, right?
But over time, that same environment began to reveal its cracks. Nick grew increasingly disillusioned with the bureaucracy and inefficiency of traditional banking. The endless meetings, the layers of hierarchy, the lack of real innovation. He once remarked provocatively, "If we fired 80% of bankers, nothing would change." It was more than a criticism, it was a warning sign. Something inside him was shifting. Nick no longer wanted to just play the game. He wanted to rewrite the rules and build something better. It's 2014. Nick is 29 and working in finance. Part of his job requires that he flies for business across Europe. Airports, hotels, and client meetings became routine. And with every trip, the same frustration returned. He has a problem that haunts him every time he travels. Those cursed bank fees on currency exchange. Every ATM withdrawal abroad, every payment in a foreign currency was a gouge in favor of the bank. As a frequent traveler, Storonsky is fed up with handing money over in fees, so he starts thinking. He reflects on how he can address this simple need and challenge the banking system. He calls in a Ukrainian engineer friend, Vlad Yatsenko, and together they start working on an ambitious project. A multi-currency card with real-time interbank exchange rates, no hidden fees, and everything managed via smartphone. It's the birth of a revolutionary idea. No coincidence the startup is called Revolut. In 2015, at 30, Nikolay leaves banking for good and officially launches Revolut in London, with Vlad Yatsenko as technical co-founder. He left his safe banker job and the hefty salary to bet everything on a bold idea: change the rules of finance. At the beginning, the app offered only multi-currency accounts and debit cards to spend abroad without those hated surcharges. But Nick's vision was much bigger. He didn't want to stop at a card for travelers. He wanted to build an app for everything to do with money, far more than a simple bank. The approach was aggressive, almost brazen. Prioritize growth and innovation now, worry about profits later, a model inspired by Amazon's mentality, as Nick likes to say. Revolut's launch immediately fired up fintech enthusiasts. On LinkedIn and Reddit, many got excited. Finally, a digital alternative to traditional banks. His disruptive vision, making legacy banks look prehistoric, echoed through celebratory posts and articles. Nick came across as a trailblazer, a pioneer opening a new way of doing banking.
In terms of actually actions that they do, to compete, with fintechs, I haven't seen much, to be honest with you. I haven't seen, banks competing with us in place to hire people, because we're constantly, hiring developers, designers, data scientists.
In the autumn of 2019, Revolut's London offices are buzzing. Despite the early success, only a faint smile appears on Storonsky's determined face. No great celebration, just 5 minutes of acknowledgement before getting straight back to work. Storonsky, the young CEO, signs a landmark agreement with Visa. Thanks to this deal, Revolut will be able to issue Visa cards in 24 new markets, bringing its app to a total of 56 countries. It is the first step in a global conquest. In a few weeks, the team hires at a dizzying pace to support the expansion. In offices dark at night, laptop lights stay on while traffic data climbs in real time. At the same time, Revolut keeps broadening the customer offering, from foreign exchange services to insurance to cryptocurrencies to stock trading, in order to turn itself into a true financial super app, or as Nick liked to define Revolut, a full financial ecosystem in your pocket.
So I think we have, as a company, we have a unique opportunity to actually scale and build a global bank across many, many markets.
Nick framed the ambition without hedging. All that rapid growth was missing one key piece: a banking license. After getting an EU license in Lithuania at the end of 2018, Storonsky pushed to turn Revolut from a card and app into a real bank. By the end of 2019, the British startup already counts millions of users worldwide, and the effects went straight into its valuation. Revolut is now a unicorn.
$1.7 billion valuation, $250 million in the bank that you're getting from investors. What's the money for?
Expansion. So we are expanding in US quite aggressively, expanding to India, Australia, Canada, Singapore, Hong Kong.
Over the next few years, Revolut became more than just an app. It became a bank. With a full EU banking license, it could finally offer things like deposit protection and credit, adding a crucial new piece to its growing ecosystem of products. Inside the company, this goal changed everything. More compliance hires, tighter controls, and a stronger board with experienced leaders. The aim was simple and bold: earn regulators' trust, and compete with big banks on their own turf. Even the COVID pandemic doesn't stop the great run of Revolut in the world banking industry. While the pandemic freezes the global economy, Storonsky keeps his foot to the floor. In November 2020, the company announces it has reached operational break-even, the first positive result on the books in 5 years. An extraordinary milestone for a fast-growing fintech. In the same period, Revolut lands in the United States, defying the global crisis. Investor confidence grows. A new funding round in autumn 2020 triples the company's valuation, bringing it to around £4.2 billion. Nick, now under the spotlight of the entire world, leaves no doubt about what he wants to build.
You genuinely think that the banks can't do this internally?
I mean, they can probably in 5-10 years time, right? But in 5-10 years time, we will build, even better products.
Online, the Storonsky is now spoken of as a visionary. While newspapers celebrate the resilience of his business model, enthusiastic posts explode on social media comparing his appeal to that of a banking David versus Goliath project. The climax arrives in the summer of 2021. In July, a gigantic Series E round of $800 million, led by giant SoftBank and Tiger Global, brings Revolut's valuation to $33 billion. The news is front-page material. At the London market, company celebrations kick off, while Storonsky announces the milestone with a triumphant look.
We do everything what banks do, but we do it 10 times better and 10 times cheaper.
The spotlights of international media light up on him. The Guardian writes that this round makes Revolut the most valuable private fintech in Europe up to that point, and describes Storonsky as a multiple on-paper billionaire. That's not all. That same year, Storonsky also enters the rich list. In 2022, Forbes will include him in the billionaires list with an estimated wealth of $7.1 billion. In short, the financial world recognizes him. Time flags him among the 100 emerging leaders. The press calls him the man who challenges banks. In those months, Revolut breaks every popularity record. In about 6 years, it has gathered over 20 million customers in dozens of countries, and its services multiply. But every medal has a flip side. While Revolut was breaking financial records, heavy criticism emerged about its internal culture, and the bright image of Nick was now under threat. Media reports and former employees began painting a darker picture of life at the company. Behind the sleek app and billion-dollar valuations, insiders spoke of a culture built on pressure, fear, and relentless performance metrics. The empire Nick had just built with the billion-dollar valuations all rested on a single figure. The leader and face of the company, who had been raising hundreds of millions of dollars from investors in every funding round. But now his image was being tied to allegations of poor management, potentially undermining investor confidence and putting Revolut's ambitious growth plans at serious risk. A Wired investigation revealed allegations that Revolut had pushed employees to resign voluntarily under questionable circumstances during a period of intense restructuring. And on Glassdoor, anonymous reviews described the environment as toxic, with inexperienced managers, sky-high goals, and little tolerance for mistakes. The accusations hit directly at Nick Storonsky's image, once celebrated as the visionary challenger of traditional banking. Now, critics asked whether he had built a revolution or a tyrannic company. Other investigations reports also that the company apparently asked candidates for certain roles to carry out unpaid tasks as part of the interview, for example, bringing a set number of real new customers to the platform, basically working for free in hopes of getting hired. To the press, Nick defended his mission. Not all people are suitable to be in the rocket ship. You need to have a certain mindset. It's not for everyone. And then maybe that's the point. Revolut wasn't built to be comfortable. Storonsky and his team realized they had to move fast to contain the reputational damage of what the media dubbed Revolut's Black Week. Nick published a blog post that read almost like a mea culpa, arguing the company had matured and is no longer what it was 12 to 18 months ago. They launched an internal push to grow up, hiring HR leaders, improving stock option plans to make employees more invested, and adding senior board figures like Martin Gilbert, a finance veteran, to bring experience and credibility. This tough period became almost a rite of passage for Storonsky and Revolut. the fintech community started talking with more balance. Not just lights, but shadows in Revolut's growth model. Some criticized him openly for overly harsh management. Others kept supporting him, appreciating that he faced the issues and tried to improve. With that storm, partly weathered, Storonsky refocused on the business, and the last few years have been no less intense. In 2022, there was big news. Nick founded Quantum Light, a quantitative venture capital fund that uses artificial intelligence to identify promising startups to invest in. The idea is to apply Revolut's data-driven approach to venture capital, letting an algorithm sift through thousands of data points in search of the next unicorn. Meanwhile, Revolut kept growing. It surpassed 25 million customers worldwide and launched banking services in 10 more European countries. Many noticed that Storonsky was diversifying from digital banking to AI investing, cementing his reputation as a multifaceted entrepreneur.
Because in reality, in modern world, you don't need bankers, right? You need software engineers, or you need designers, you need product people.
He was no longer just the Revolut guy, he was a full-blown business leader. And again, by September 2025, Revolut surpassed 65 million users globally and topped 10,000 employees. Annual revenues reached £1.8 billion with solid net profit, and the long-awaited UK banking license has finally arrived. Storonsky, now 40, became the UK's richest fintech entrepreneur, with an estimated $7.9 billion fortune. All eyes are on one thing, a possible Revolut IPO. Nick was blunt about it. Listing in London was not rational. The UK market is much less liquid, definitely worse than the US. But for Revolut, an IPO isn't just a financial milestone. It's a statement, a way to prove that a digital-first bank, born from a simple idea of no more currency fees, can stand shoulder to shoulder with century-old financial giants. And as investors and regulators watch closely, one question remains. Is Revolut ready to become not just the biggest fintech in Europe, but one of the defining banks of the next decade? And this was the story of Revolut's founder, Nikolay Storonsky. If you enjoyed this video, there are plenty more about the most fascinating entrepreneurs and innovators of our time. Click on our Serial Entrepreneur playlist to discover more inspiring stories. And don't forget to subscribe to Vision Economy. It really helps support the channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time from Vision Economy.